Hello, hello, good evening, good afternoon, and may even be good morning from wherever you are chiming in around the world. My name is Dr. Anana Phifer-Derilhomme, and I am excited that you are joining us today. It is time. It is time for the Women in Youth Civility Conference. And you are here, I like to say, at the right place at the right time. It's time because I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the Women in Youth Civility Conference. My name is Dr. Anana, and I am passionate about empowering women and girls to become the leaders of today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not a year from now, but today. And tonight, I have some amazing leaders, youth leaders, girls from right here in New Jersey that are going to share with us on civility. And I have gathered these 4 days, I've gathered women and youth leaders from around the globe to discuss some of the major issues that we are facing in our world, but more importantly, the world of our youth from their perspective. So I invite you to join us nightly, the next 4 nights, October 5th through the 8th, and we're going to be discussing the 4 C's. And as a Civility World Ambassador, I tell you, let me tell you what my 4 C's are. Let me tell you what I train and I speak about, and I definitely work with girls and women around the globe. We work on civility, community, creativity, and climate change. And this week, we are going to be tackling, dissecting, and I hope and pray that you are going to be inspired and you're going to learn from all the amazing women. And we even got some guys with us too that'll be coming and sharing. So tonight, we're here in the US. Tomorrow night, we are discussing community. We will be actually on the continent of Africa. Yes, we will. We have another amazing young lady. She'll be coming from Kansas. She'll be here tomorrow to talk about community. And then we have creativity. We're going to South America. We have some amazing girls from Guyana that will be sharing. We have an awesome lady, young lady from the US. She is actually from Michigan, Flint, Michigan. She will be here. And last but not least, we're going back to South Africa. South Africa. We'll actually be in South America on the last day, and we'll be talking about climate change. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm glad you are here. Now, again, tonight, we're talking civility. Tonight, I have 4 young ladies from New Jersey, from here in the US, and I have the pleasure of personally working with each of them. They are all dedicated members of Blessed Girls. They are beautiful young ladies, and they are leaders in their own community. Tonight, we're talking about civility. Now, civility is defined as being polite, kind, courteous, and just really having good manners, right? And each of these things I can say are attributes about all of the girls that are going to speak tonight. But however, wouldn't you agree that our communities, our leadership, our politicians, we all can use being a little bit more civil, right? We could be a little bit more polite. We could be a little more courteous, if you will. And so when I tell you this, when I looked it up, civility comes from the word civis. And civis means citizen, right? And I believe it is our civic duty as citizens to be civil and look for ways to show more kindness and more understanding. You agree? If you agree, just type civility right there. Or say I agree. Give us some thumbs up because more, if nothing else tonight, I want you to show these girls some love, some support, some encouragement because they, again, are the leaders of today. But here's the thing. Guess what the opposite of civility is? Anybody know? The opposite of civility is incivility. And that is defined as it's basically a general term for social behavior lacking in civility, lacking good manners, being rude, lack of respect. Anybody when someone is actually operating in a threatening behavior? Now, how many of us have seen or experienced some incivility lately? Anybody? I'm sure, right? So I guess you would agree. agree with me that it is time for us to listen. It is time for us to learn, and it's time for us to live civility. Now, let me tell you. Let me tell you about my first guest. I'm going to bring her up. My first guest. Let me find her. Let me find her. Let me bring her up. Here she comes. Here she comes. My first guest. Her name is Miss Caitlin Black. Miss Caitlin Black hails from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Now, let me tell you, she is an avid tennis player. And she's a lettered tennis player, I can say. She's in the 10th grade. She loves reading. And here's what she is: she is active in promoting Black Lives Matters. Good evening, Caitlin. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm happy to see you tonight. So glad you could join us. So glad you could join us. Are you ready to talk civility, sis?
I'm ready.
She ready. All right. All right. Now, let me bring what's up. Let me bring her up. Bring her up. Bring her up. Next to the stage. I just want you to just y'all getting a little intro. Little intro. Here they come. Here they come. Next is Miss Tamia Lewis Saint. Now, Tamia is an 11th grader. She goes to St. Vincent Academy. She runs track and she has been dancing for over 10 years with a concentration in gymnastics, jazz, contemporary, and I think, yeah, okay, that was I know I've seen her. I don't know if that's contemporary too. I know I've seen her do some hip hop. But listen, she is a member of the National Honor Society. She's received many academic awards, and she also is been involved in Girl Scouts, right? And she's still currently a member. So listen, I like this part about her. She says, with all this being said, I am passionate about who I will become, and I am grateful for the journey to become who I become with the help of God. Come on, Tamia. How you doing tonight? Wait a minute, wait a minute. Let's see. Let me see if she might be on mute. Let me make sure the folks can hear you tonight. There you go.
I'm good.
Well, good to see you, sis. You know, you got the big hair, don't care like me tonight. Glad that you are here and we are going to talk civility tonight.
Yes.
So, all right?
Yes.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let me just show my next up to the stage. Next up to the stage. Let me make sure she's ready. Let me make sure she's ready. Let me make sure she's ready. Now, you all, if you have never met Miss Simone Banks, Simone Banks, she says she's a proud member of Blessed Girls. She loves to draw, animate, sing, and cook. She runs her own YouTube channel where she posts small animation. She is a creative, so she'll be back also on our creative night. She has an inventing spirit, and this makes her, she can make friends easily, and she's not afraid to put on a show. Welcome, welcome to the stage, Miss Simone Banks. Where are you? How are you, ma'am?
Hello. Hello. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. You know, we have our own in studio audience. Can you hear them, guys? So we can show love even with our audience here in the studio, if you will. But I'm super excited for each of these amazing ladies, and we're going to get right into it. Now, here's the thing: I want our audience to know this is a perfect time for you to comment, for you to share, for you to like. If you're watching on Facebook, please make sure you share your comments. I see Tracy Randolph. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. Good evening. I see some of the parents are here with us. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. But listen, this is really about our youth. This is about our future, and it's time to listen. Y'all hear? Listen, right? Learn so we can live civility. So we're going to jump right in. So make sure you type in your comments, your takeaways, because we're going to jump right into our conference. All right, y'all know this is live TV, right? As soon as we start, I got folks things jumping off, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, so let me see let me find my first first speaker tonight. All right, here we go. I got to make sure I can get her up here. Hold on, hold on. All right, I see Tamia is here. We got to find Miss Caitlin, but I guess we're going to go ahead with Tamia because she is here and she is ready to go. So, Tamia, you ready?
Yes.
All right. So here is our first question. We are here to talk about civility. We gave a brief overview about civility and what civility is and what the opposite of, which is incivility, right? And you heard that, being rude,
Yes.
being disrespectful, that is the opposite of. And I know we can see that certainly in our community at different times. But my first question is, what does civility mean to you? I'm going to give you two questions at a time. What does civility mean to you? And how does civility impact your life?
In my view, civility means having the decency to show kind acts, to be there for your neighbor or your family members, but also, most importantly, to do it in a dignified manner. When you have civility, it means you have manners and you have respect for others, but you show your honor. So overall, I believe civility means showing courtesy in the way you speak or behave. Civility has a major impact in my life. Since civility is about respect, it also is constantly being brought up in my life and how I talk to others, how I help them, and making sure they have the best positive interest in me and I have the same in them. It's important to be civil towards others because it builds an amazing character for yourself. I believe that from me, I always have true intentions from others, and it builds my personality stronger, and it continues to daily.
Something real good there, sis. So,
Thank you.
I love this because if I hear what I hear you saying is this is something that literally it's a part of who you are, right?
Yes,
It's a part of your daily activity. It's not something that you got to look for, search for. This really is who you are, and I totally agree to that. So you said it's in how you speak, how you treat others, right? And if you will, because I'm gonna go a little bit more with it if I can. So because I gave you an example of civility currently in the opposite, right? Can you give me an example of someone being incivil or something that you've seen in the past week or two that would show and demonstrate incivility? Because sometimes, because again, it's a part of our daily life, it becomes a part of our culture. We may not even be aware of it when and sometimes it's a part of our norm, right? Because to be
yes.
incivil, to be rude, to be nasty or what have you, that might just be the way I was brought up. That just might be the way we talk to each other. In my home, in my family, around my friends, this might be the way that we are, right? So can you give me an example, a good case and a bad case, if you will? Can you just, make it real simple for them so they can really see and understand today?
Okay, so for example, I'm a high school student. So during school, someone might need help with their homework, and someone's sitting there who knows how to do the problems, and then someone's there and they're not really trying to help. So an incivility act would be to be selfish and not help that person next to you. Meanwhile, there can be that other student who shows civility and steps up and works through the problem with the student.
That's good. Good. And I love that stepping up. That's the
Yes,
first thing. You're talking about being civil. It requires you to step up and to be a
yes,
leader. If that is that right? Yeah,
yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Taking courage, which we talk about for Blessed Girls, to be bold, to be you, and that is courageous, right? So that's good. That's good. All
Thank
right,
you.
all right. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna. I'm manning the controls here. Let's see. Let's see. Here she go. Here she go. All right. We're bringing up Caitlin. Caitlin's coming back up. She's coming back up. Caitlin, welcome, welcome. All right, Miss Caitlin. Now, I don't know. Do I have to give you the question back again? What does civility mean to you? And how does civility impact your life?
Civility means just being a human being because you need to have respect for everybody that you know. Even if you don't know them, you should still have respect. Like me, if I'm walking into the store and I see somebody I don't know, but they're looking at me, I'm automatically gonna wave back and say hi because that's just being respectful. So it just means being a human being, especially during these times with the whole Black Lives Matter. That sometimes people like police, they view black people as not a human being, but at the same time, even though that they're different skin color, you still gotta have respect for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that you are certainly passionate about Black Lives Matter, and civility definitely takes high priority in that regard, as of us being civil to one another, showing caring, courteousness, being kind in that way. And we certainly have seen a lot of incivility, if you will, in that regard. So when you talk about just being a human being, to me, that's like that puts us all on the same playing field, if you will, right? It
Yeah.
levels us, right? No one is different because the color of your skin, where you live, the amount of money you have, all these types of things. Instead of bringing us together, it seems to have separated us, if you will. So just share just a little bit about your experience and why you so passionate about Black Lives Matter.
I'm passionate because I'm black and my family, and I would never want somebody in my family to experience that because it'll bring pain and stuff like that. And just having civility is so important with Black Lives Matter because even though it may not affect you, but it affects everybody else. You have to think about what other people are gonna do or what other people are gonna feel about it.
Mm. And that's being considerate. Another a big one that could be even for a C is really being considerate of others. And even when I hear you speaking, it's a matter of, again, different experiences, right? But still thinking about how others are going to be affected by what we do or what we don't do. How do we respond and we don't respond? So this is good. This is good. So I thank you for sharing. I am going to bring up, I think I'm just going to have you guys all come up here because it'll be better for me if we all are on the screen, and then we'll just go from each other. If that makes sense. If you're comfortable with that, I think that's good. All right. All right. Simone Banks, welcome, welcome. Simone, talk to me. What does civility mean to you, and how does it impact your life? Mm. Well, you know what? That's good to even consider it as civility can boost your mood. I like that idea because I think it's energy. You know how they say it's a vibe? So we're going to say civility is a vibe. Civility is a vibe. How about that? We bring energy. When we bring civility, we bring a vibe. We bring energy. I like that idea. I really, really, I never thought about it that way. And I really do like that. Let's make sure we all can get on this screen and stay on the screen. All right, perfect. I want to make sure we're here. All right. So now we all know we've been 6+ months now, 7 months in a pandemic. And COVID has definitely, I think it's been over 200,000 people that we have lost to COVID-19, right? And now I want to just hear from you all because I know a lot of times we know from an adult perspective, right, how we've been affected. But I would love to hear from you. How has the pandemic affected you personally? And if you can give us a view of your community, and your community could be your friends, your family, your church family. I know you have Girl Scouts and different clubs that you are a part of. So tell me, I'm going to jump to Tamia. Tell me, how has the pandemic affected your community?
The pandemic has affected my community in a majority of ways. The community I'm going to focus on is school. So the pandemic came out of nowhere. No one expected for it to come. And virtual school and online schooling is two different totally things. So it was a lot to grasp the concept. So me and my peers, we really had to adapt and learn how to change into a virtual environment versus online school. So that was the way it changed our community. And we had to learn lots of new skills. And the way the pandemic affected me personally was being able to learn more about myself. Since we had more time alone, I was able to figure out things I never knew about myself and just practice self-care more. So the pandemic has affected everyone positively and negatively.
Mm-mm.
That's good. I like the fact that you identified the both the positive and the negative, right? Because it's like we could take lemons and make lemonade. And the
Yes.
self discovery, that's true because we had to be alone. Right? We had to, come together just with our families. There was a level of isolation, and dealing with yourself, looking into yourself, dealing with self care is certainly some major things. So I'm so happy to hear that. And a different way of even learning. Of
Yes.
getting your education now online, who would have ever thought that? But that's certainly key. So thank you for that. How about you, Caitlin? How has the pandemic affected you and your community?
The pandemic affected me religiously because I'm Christian and I go to church every Sunday. I'm used to going to church every Sunday, and because of the pandemic we couldn't do that because at my church we have a lot of older people which the coronavirus can affect them worse than it can even affect me. So even being cautious about that, even thinking like I couldn't go to church anymore. Cause me, I like going to church, so it kind of made me like upset. But I knew it was a good reason we couldn't go to church.
Mm. Interesting, because that is a big thing, especially those that fellowship and go to church and synagogues and mosques and halls, right? So it affected not even just Christians; it affected all religious communities, correct?
Yeah.
Right? So that's a good way to look at it and to really think about it. And you love going to church. Come on now. And not being able to go and having that fellowship and serving is really key. And I think it's unique to hear a young person say that they miss church and, but then still thinking about your elders and making sure that we were protecting them and staying social distancing and things like that is key. So I appreciate that perspective. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, Simone, talk to us. How has the pandemic affected your community?
So it's affected me personally a lot with school because I started remote learning actually when I was in 8th grade, and like that was pretty easy because like we didn't really have Zoom calls. They didn't really set it up yet. They just kind of gave us the work that we needed. We did it, and that was the end of it. But now that I'm a freshman, like they're a lot more serious with things, which is, I mean, it's expected. But they, I live in Edison, so I go to Edison High School. They give us a stupid amount of work.
Stupid.
When I say stupid, I mean like completely unethical. Like I got like 4 assignments from one class. That that kind of unethical.
Mhm.
But it's affected my community by pretty much just like dividing us even more than we already were before. Because like even before the pandemic, we were still like pretty separated. But like now, I mean, like I can't even see my friends. I can't go see like my family. It's it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting to hear that you feel you're getting more work in school, and I like the perspective of it of different ways of learning, but you feel like you're getting and I know you've been saying that from the beginning because we've been checking in with each other that you feel I don't know, you feel like you're getting dumped on a little bit.
You
When
would
it
you would
gets
think that remote learning is better, but really it's not.
Mhm.
Like
What do you think to me about that? You agree about the workload?
Yes, I definitely agree because there's a big balance between doing classwork versus homework. Because usually when you're in school, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this classwork, and then when I get home, I'm gonna do my homework. But now it's like, where do you balance it? Because you're home, so you're doing classwork and homework.
Gotcha. I get the fact, like you said, there's the homework and the classwork is all together, right? Yeah. Interesting perspective. Okay, but we definitely have educators watching, and that's a good thing. So hopefully they're here. The message will get out how you guys are feeling. So that's definitely key. So I hope everyone can hear us. We're not having too much technical difficulty. I'm hearing some people can't hear us, so hopefully we are now coming loud and clear. I can hear you all, but definitely you could tune in. We're definitely live on Facebook, and we'll be on YouTube and on Instagram, IGTV as well, very shortly. All right, good. I see good now coming in. All right, thank goodness. All right, so we're talking civility. We are tackling the 4 C's, and tonight is all about civility, right? So now here's what I'm going to ask my amazing panel. What do you feel is missing from today's culture? And how do you think that we could build whatever is missing, right? How can we increase that or make a difference right now? And when I say culture, I'm thinking about you guys. I'm thinking about your environment, your culture, your community, your friends, right? What you see. And not so much even your friends that you can touch every day, but I know social media, you're connected, your connection, your network, right? How can we make a difference or help to fill whatever you feel is missing right now in our today's culture, in your culture, I would say, if you will. So Caitlin, I'm going to start with you with that.
I feel like in today's our culture, that we're missing that driven mindset. Cause I feel
Ooh.
like this
Wait,
letter
wait,
is
wait, wait, Caitlin. Stop it. Come on now. I gotta make sure they get this. You said we're missing a driven mindset. You guys get that in the audience. You gotta just give them time to get it, Caitlin. All right. I just don't run through it. All right. I want somebody to put that in the comments. A driven mindset. Now that came from Caitlin Black, our 10th grader. She's talking about a driven mindset. All right, because this is solutions tonight. All right, Caitlin, I'll let you go ahead now. Go ahead.
I feel like we're missing a driven mindset because I feel like this generation is very lazy.
Ooh.
And
okay.
and I feel like we don't have that encouragement or that push. Like, oh, we could get it from our parents, okay, but just that push from other, like, your peers, that could move you and make you, and it could help you accomplish your goals and all your achievements.
That's good.
And plus,
That's really
we have
good.
social media, so it should be a little bit easier to do that.
So even in social media, you don't feel like folks ain't really driven. You seeing a lot of laziness in social media?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot of laziness, honestly.
Now tell me about this what you mean by lazy?
Not
I'm
like
gonna go a little deeper with you.
just
I'm gonna make sure because some people saying they can hear me. I want to make sure they know. Now, Caitlin said that we're missing a driven mindset, that we tend to be a bit lazy, and even in social media, we should be pushing one another. So I'm asking her to explain, like, what does it mean by lazy? Can you just go a little deeper with that? Go ahead.
lazy mean like you want everybody to do something for you. Like, of course, your parents supposed to help you along the way, but they're not supposed to help you the whole way. They're supposed to let you fly, and you need to be more independent and stop leaning on somebody else.
Ooh. That's good, Caitlin. Wait a minute. So, can I say entitlement? Would
Yes,
that be a good word? Like you feel like you're entitled to this. You don't necessarily have to work hard for it, but you feel like success or money or these things that you see, right? That they should just happen for you. You might not necessarily have to work for it. Is that sound about right? Is that a good
yes,
word?
yes.
That's good. That's good. Well,
Because I
thank
feel
you,
like,
Kate.
for
Go ahead.
example, like famous people, like you think, oh, Kanye West, his kids, they might not feel like they have to work so hard because their parents have all the money, so they could do whatever they want, and they have more privileges than people who are not really famous.
Mm-hmm.
So then they'll become more lazy, and then feel like they don't have to do nothing, and they're not entitled to anything.
That's good. That's certainly good. And even for me and my generation and beyond, I feel like even sometimes we're to blame for that, right? Because we may give you things that you didn't have to work for, and you might not really understand the value of things because we want to give you what we didn't have. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
overindulge you and just give it to you easily simply because we're trying to, and I'm sure parents, if you're watching, right, we might overindulge you because we didn't have it, right? I wish I could have had them Jordans. Man, listen, I was getting sneakers from Favors or somewhere. I don't know. But I wish, so now I'll get you them Jordans, right? I'll spend $200, $300 on sneakers when that would be absurd. The highest I think I spent on sneakers was like $60, $70, and that was, oh my goodness, right? So there's just things like that, even come on with these cell phones and the earpods and AirPods. I ain't even saying it right? But all of these things we give you, even from a parental standpoint, because I didn't have it. Like I really just want more for you guys, but in turn, it might be giving you a level of entitlement, right? And it might not, it's taken away from your drive, right, to work hard and to attain the things that you want. That's good. That's really good, Caitlin. Anything else in closing before we move down to Tamia?
Nope, I'm good. You go to Tamia.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tamia. Now, Tamia, what do you feel is missing from today's culture? And oh, wait a minute, Caitlin, what do you think we can do to help to build up that driven mindset and to get rid of that entitlement? What do you think that we can do? You guys, your age group, and what can I do as a parent, as a leader, as a youth leader right now? What are some things that I can do to help build that?
Well, as a parent and youth leader, be less lenient.
Mm. What? You really want?
I mean, not a lot, but like just a little bit, like a little bit at a time.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Tamia, jump right in. I'm just here. You talk to me and tell us about it.
What I feel is most lacking from my culture is confidence. I believe confidence is what's most likely lacking because we have social media now, and social media has exposed a lot of different platforms, like how celebrities are and how their lifestyles are, and we tend to compare ourselves to all these celebrities and all these unrealistic things when our lives aren't really like that. So confidence can really make a big factor in our culture. And now with our young mindsets, we're more gullible to things that we see because we're like, oh, this is what we know, but it's not really what we know, it's just what we see. And there's so much potential that
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes to me. I gotta let them know. Hold on. Now, Tamia speaking, y'all. Now, Tamia said what we're lacking is confidence. Now, that is something that's really important because I may think just because you the loudest one, just because you the cutest one, just because you got, whatever the shoes are and the hair and the weave and everything, that really don't mean you confident. Right? Like sometimes the outer appearance, right? We can give off this facade, but you really are not confident. And I like how you talked about these are some good scenes you got, Tamia. When you said about comparing yourself, and with social media there's a lot of comparison going on, so I had to just make sure I got let the audience get that. Okay, I don't want to run past it, but Tamia is talking about confidence is lacking, and we're doing a lot of comparing ourselves, and I'm sure that's definitely true for girls, right? And for women, we're doing a lot of comparing ourselves to what someone else has. I'm sorry, continue. I didn't mean to cut you
it's
off, but
okay.
let's let the audience get this, okay?
And also with lack of confidence, especially youth, we tend to miss a lot of opportunities because we're not being our true selves. We're not being bold and vigorous and just trying to go beyond and beyond ourselves. So I believe confidence is really what's lacking because there's so much passion behind our young minds and we're still growing and we're still developing. And if we let things like social media come between the way, then we're just missing out on so much. And if we all had the big confidence, we would just be unstoppable.
Mm. You will be unstoppable. So you're telling us what should we be doing? We should be building our confidence,
Yes, and believing in ourselves. That's where it starts.
believing in yourself. And y'all know that's blessed girl. Be bold and be you. All right. So this is really, really good because like I said, I from the outward appearance, I would think, oh, these girls, because they wearing this and they looking good and the stomachs out. Y'all know how y'all dress. All right, I ain't gonna say no, but y'all know. But that could be a misconception, right, of confidence, but that's not necessarily it. And that person may not even be them true selves, right? They could be doing what they think is hot. I don't know. Y'all chime in. What else? Am I right? What you
Especially,
think?
yes, especially like social media now, it's a whole nother life. Like someone can be faking their life behind a screen. You don't know what they're thinking. It's just, oh, you see this post, you see this post, but someone can be really broken down and all they're doing is putting a caption and a picture of them smiling, but you don't know the backstory. And that's what social media does.
That's good. Faking a funk, huh? Come on, Tamia. Tamia says social media will have you fronting. In her words to my words, that's old school words, right? That a lot of people are putting up, a facade on social media. So, even what I'm hearing, that social media still plays a big role, right, in your guys' culture in your life, right? And it could be positive and negative. So, how can I use social media, right, to help me become more driven? How can I use social media to help me build my confidence? Anybody want to jump in on that? What do you think? Tamia, this is your segment. So tell me, what do you think?
To network and just start uplifting each other, not having these unrealistic goals, and just loving ourselves for who we really are, because that's where it starts. Once you start loving yourself and finding your inner beauty, then you can express it outwards. So once you do that, you can really just do anything.
I love it. Tamia says network and loving yourself. And I get networking, but I even want to encourage you that your tribe, the girls that you hang out with, right? Who is in your ear? Who you really, you know what I'm saying, is talking to you the most, right? And that's why your vibe will attract your tribe, right? If you being fake, like you saying, right, fake and phony, you're gonna attract the girls that are about that same mindset. But when you could be true, you could be honest, you could be yourself, then that vibe can attract girls that are of like mind, right? Like mindsets, driven mindsets, if you will, even through social media. And you can really create a network. And that's definitely what this is about. What Blessed Girls is about is helping to build a tribe of girls, right, to be the leaders. And you guys certainly are just that. Anything we want to add, Simone, Caitlin, anything you want to add to that before we move on?
No, I'm good.
You good?
Yep.
Simone, anything you want to build? I see Miss Rosetta West. She said, build your confidence and believe in yourself. Great point, Tamia. They got it. Thank you so much for watching. That's Mama West, I say. She is chiming in from Kansas as well. So those are really, really great points. All right. So we're going to move on. Miss Simone Banks, tell me, what do you think is missing from today's culture, and how can we bridge the gap or add more of that missing link today?
So let's see. I think like this is just my opinion. I think like what's really missing in today's culture is communication.
Stop it.
Because
Communication. All right, talk about it.
because like okay, hear me out.
Yes.
I am a part of Generation Z along with I'm pretty sure Timmy and Caitlin.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that Generation Z is one of the most accepting generations of humanity.
Wow.
And
Okay, listen, I just slow down. You gotta let him get it, Simone, okay? Because you're dropping some nuggets, all right? So I want to make sure that they got it. So now Simone says that what she feels like, in her opinion, is missing the most is communication, right? And this is Generation Z, right? And you are the most accepting generation, if you will, okay? And now, what do you mean by that? Accepting?
by that I mean like all right, so this is just compared to like millennials and everybody else, like I just think that, like, from personal experience, we're very, like, accepting. Like, we not only support, like, pretty much everybody, like Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, and everybody. We don't care what race you are. We don't care about your ethnicity or race or religion. We don't care. Like, I mean, I just see people as human beings. I don't really care, like, what skin color you are. No offense to whoever I am talking to, but I just see you as a person. Like, I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you.
That's good.
And I think that communication is definitely missing, especially in Generation Z, because like Tamia said before, we have social media. We should be able to, communicate with each other, but, like, not just through social media, but, like, in person. I mean, I completely understand that we can't really do that now unless we're doing it 6 feet apart. But yeah, I think that we are definitely missing communication, and we should. I'm not really sure that we can push that now because of the pandemic. But yeah, I guess, like, when the pandemic is finally somewhat over, like, we should really get on it, like, not just via social media, but in person.
Well, the thing is, I feel like even us being here today, us even having this conference this week, communication is one of the biggest things, right? And giving you even the opportunity to speak your mind, right? So I feel good about it. I feel like this is what I'm glad that uh, a lot of the things that you feel like are missing, that we have an opportunity on this platform, and definitely what we do with women and youth, right? Is that I'm glad that we are giving you this platform to communicate. And another thing that comes to mind, even as a parent, is that communication goes two ways, right? So I in order to really communicate, or I have to listen, right? I always say we got one mouth but two ears, right? So in order to really build on communication, it goes both ways. I have to allow you to speak. I allow myself to hear what you're saying, and for me to receive that without any bias, without thinking I already know what you're going to say and why you're going to say it. But let me just be open to hear really what's on your heart and what's on your mind. And that's what even tonight is about. That's what this conference is about. Giving you young ladies the opportunity to speak and to communicate what's on your heart, what you're experiencing. And I'm glad that you feel like communication. And I feel like even as a parent, we need to listen more. I'm going to say it. As a parent, teenage young men, you know what? You guys really do, like, your thoughts, your feelings, they matter. Like, I get it. I really, really get it. And I know that's a shift in a mindset, for adults, for parents, for your grandparents, for our elders, because it's like, you just, in my generation, it's like you kids are just to be seen and not heard. And if I ask you, this is a grown folk conversation. Y'all ain't got nothing to say. And I really feel like in the right environment, your communication and you letting us know what you think and what you feel absolutely matters. So I think that is really, really good. And I'm glad that, that I can be a part of the solution, and to help in that regard. So what do you think we can do to bridge the gap? Of course, this is one thing that we're doing, but Simone, what do you think that we can do to help build communication, with your community and your culture?
Let's see. So I think I don't know how to explain this. We as humanity can't accept if we don't know who we are accepting. Take everything I say with a little grain of salt.
Okay.
But, like, to fix the problem of communication, like, we, again, like Tamia said before, we have like nowadays we have like so many ways to talk to each other, to like communicate with each other, but like we can't just talk, we actually have to listen. Like, have you ever heard the phrase something goes in one ear and then just out the other? That is what, like, I feel like that statement really connects to our generation. I mean, like, me personally, of course, like, my mom tells me stuff all the time and just goes in one ear and out the other. But yeah, like, I just really think that we really just need to listen to each other more.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about this because listen, that is our theme this week. It's time to listen, to learn, and to live civility. And that's what this is all about. And those that are watching, those that are here, they'll watch the broadcast, the rebroadcast. That's it. We are here to listen and to learn from these amazing youth leaders this week. So I truly, truly thank you. So this is our last question for tonight. You see how fast that went, guys? Listen, time just goes by, but you all will be back throughout the week as well. As Blessed Girl leaders, you'll be moderators and participating at different levels. So my last, no, this is not even the last, well, a little bit, we're getting close to the last. What misconception or misunderstanding between youth and adults? What are some of those misconceptions that we have? And so we'll just start off with you, Simone, since you are leading the way. What do you think is a misconception between you and I?
Probably that we don't understand each other, because like coming from two separate generations, like we have different mindsets. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that like one is completely different than the other. Like we share similarities, but like I don't know how to explain this. Because I have what I want to say in my head, but I don't know how to put it into words.
Okay. So what is a common misunderstanding you think that we have between each other, adults and youth? What is a misunderstanding? Or what was some of the common misunderstandings between your parents, you think? What do you think is one thing?
Between my parents?
Between you and your parents, or your teachers, or adult leaders, if you will.
I mean, like, it would probably be the same thing. Like, I had like a little a mini argument with my mom about my drawings and stuff. I mean, like, it wasn't really an argument, but like we were just kind of talking. And like she was saying, like, oh my God, like this is actually like really good, but you know, like you can always improve. Like we need to get you into an art school. Like if this is what you want to do, then it's what you want to do. Like it should be like your entire career. And I'm like, all right, like right now it's kind of just like, you know, it's my passion. It's what I like to do. But like applying all of these things to only one thing that you like, it kind of takes like all the fun out of it. Like I love to draw. Like I love to upload. I love to animate. That's what I do, and I'm fairly certain that it's what I want to do for the future.
Right.
But like adding on like everything now, like you need to do this, you need to do that, you should probably like start planning for the future, which is reasonable. But like right now, I have so much time to do that. Like, I mean, I'm only a freshman.
Right.
I just want to enjoy like it just being a hobby for now, like at least until I become a junior.
Okay.
Just so
let me
I can still enjoy it.
Can capture it. So, for example, this is something that you just want to enjoy yourself. You don't want to be like, as your mom, you know, as a mom, all right, we got to get you trained. You got to go to school. We got we just go overboard, right? And you're like, just pump the brakes. I'm good. Let me just have fun with this for now, right? But we're thinking about your future. Like we're too, probably too driven. Like, all right, how do you get from here to there? And we're already trying to get you there. And you're like, let me just have fun and enjoy this for a minute. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, because of course, I'm gonna think about like my passion for the future because obviously I want to be an artist.
Sure.
But like, just let me have fun with it now. Like, let it still be a passion. Like, just don't turn it into my job just yet, even though that's what I want.
Right,
Just
right.
like let me live in the now before I start thinking about the future. Like, I have all of high school to think about, like, what I'm going to do in life, what job I want, what college I'm going to go to. I mean, like, most of it is already planned out, but like, even still, I just want to enjoy myself.
That's
You can
good.
only be a freshman once. You can only be a teenager just once.
You're right. And I like that. So allow you to be present in your right now. Allow you to enjoy your current situation, your current, hobby, whatever it is. Let's allow our youth to be young, to enjoy and just have fun. Is that a good, that'll be a good advice from me,
Yes.
for your mama, for
Yeah.
us. Is that a good? I enjoy it. All right, all right. So I'm gonna tell Caitlin to step on up so we can see Caitlin. All right, Caitlin, you see you getting dark back there. I gotta make sure I can see you. All right, Caitlin, don't be hiding back there. Come on up here, Caitlin. Caitlin, what is a misconception or a misunderstanding between youth and adults today?
I feel like a misunderstanding would be that youth aren't somebody, because and that youth don't need to have civility, or even parents, like they might feel like, oh, like for example, like me and my mom. So if I if she's trying to come walk past me, and she'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, move. But
Mm-hmm.
then if I say move to her, it's a problem. So I
Oh,
feel like we both need to have respect for each other. And I
mm.
feel like
Oh,
parents don't have, like, they feel like kids are not doing anything these days, or like they feel the kids pain because they were young too. But it's different nowadays. Like, we have social
yeah,
media, kids have to deal with peer pressure and other things that can
yeah.
affect them.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like kids don't have responsibilities. Like, for me, I have to deal with tennis, I have school, I have other clubs and other things I'm part of, and I have to juggle that can be hard. But a
Yeah,
parent might feel like, oh, I'm paying the bills, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That's a lot too. But kids are dealing with a lot of stuff now too, especially with Corona right now. It's hard
yeah.
to do that.
Really, really good. And if I understand you, it's like, you know what? You have your own pressure, right? You, even though you're not paying the bills, even though you don't have to worry about getting, someone's providing for you or getting you here from there, but there is a pressure on you guys as youth right now, right? You have
Yeah.
your own level of concerns and stress. And I know that with suicide rates being so high among young teens right now, especially African American girls, I mean, clearly, right, the level of mental illness and depression and anxiety, clearly there is a level of pressure that is honestly, really, really, really stressing you guys and taking some of us out. So I think that we have to recognize that, and we have to shift the way that we deal with one another, and that's from adult to youth, right? And I certainly see that, and I hear that, and I get it. And I promise you, y'all hit me even as a parent. You know how I talk to my, come on, just get here, right? Is that how we talk?
Yes.
Let's go, just because I said so, right? I know, and I'm hitting myself in the head today. Go ahead, Caitlin.
Yes, I do feel like that could be a problem, and it can even affect kids in, like, this generation. Like, when they become parents, they're gonna be doing the same thing, and it's gonna continue on and on and on, generation after generation,
Oh my
which will
goodness,
be bad. And then that will we will lose civility through generation through generation through generation.
that's good. That's good, Caitlin. I promise you, because now you're talking about breaking generational norms, curses, right? And we have the power to do that, right? And I think when you position it that way, to even adults and parents, like I understand that that's how my mother talked to me. I understand that that's how my grandmother talked to my mother, right? But it's gonna stop at this generation. I have agreed to stop and change the norm. That I'm going to allow, and I mean not crazy. You ain't gonna be cussing and fighting in my house and doing all craziness, all right? Y'all know that, right? But I will give you the space to be who you are. I will give you the respect to speak to me and let me know what you're going through, right? And there's some of the things that you would love to see.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. To me, I see Simone, y'all shaking your head. Anything y'all want to add to what she's saying?
Actually, yeah. What you said before about like pressure, like I completely understand because I just became a freshman and like the first week was absolute pain and torture. Like because I actually had like multiple, I guess, mental breakdowns, if you will. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the right term, but
that's like to you. You felt like you was having a mental breakdown. Yes. Okay, that's good.
And like I tried to tell my mom about it. She was just like, "Oh, that's normal. Welcome to high school." And like I was just like, "Wait a minute, like that's it. I don't get any like advice because I understand that like high school back Miss Anana, when you were in high school, like things were probably way different, but now they're even more different. Like I didn't really get much sympathetic advice because like my mom isn't in high school anymore. Like it was different for her then, and now it's different for me. Yeah. Like just because I knew that it would be a big jump from 8th grade to 9th grade, but nobody ever told me that this was the outcome. Just like a big, like just a walking ball of anxiety and just pain. Gotcha. I didn't really like the first week.
Gotcha.
Now I'm used to it. Now I'm just
Gotcha. But
4 assignments in, yeah, I'm fine.
You had to make that adjustment, and there was definitely a lot of pressure in that adjustment, and for us to recognize that that's your reality, that is your truth. And I think I hear what you're saying, that a lot of times we just gloss or glaze over the things that you're going through, but it's real to you. I'm sure a year from now you're going to be like, oh, that was a piece of cake, that was a cakewalk, but right now today I'm struggling. You get what I'm saying? Like that is
yes.
So you guys are really helping a lot of us adults. I know there's some parents watching, adults, grandparents, aunties, godparents. Like we certainly should be more sensitive to that. Yes, this is going to be, when you're 21, you're going to be like, what? 9th grade was a piece of cake. But when you was in that thing, you felt like it was a mental breakdown. You felt like you couldn't go on. Like this is the worst thing for you right now. I get that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Tamia, anything else before I pose the question to you? Or you ready me to just throw it to you? You want to add to this, or you want to go ahead and answer it for yourself?
I'm ready for the question.
All right. Well, Tamia, this is it. We've been talking about what is a misconception or misunderstanding between youth and adults today. What would you say is one of the biggest misunderstandings?
Simone kind of talked on this topic, and I believe that the biggest misconception is communication, but it's deeper than just communication. It's constant communication. And when you're constantly talking to someone, a parent or a teacher or a friend, you need to make sure you're affirming to each other and that you're agreeing on things, but not necessarily agreeing, but making sure you hear each other out, because it's a different story when you're talking to someone just to get your point across, and it's different when you're listening to understand each other, even though you may not agree. So I believe, especially now with youth and young adults, we kind of just want to get our point across and be like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. So I feel like if we just listen and take the time to understand each other, then it's easier to just talk and do anything.
This is good. Listen to understand, right? And I
Yes.
have to say again, even as you as an adult, we're so busy. You know, we're going through what we're going through. I'm trying to cook dinner. I'm trying to get you somewhere. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. But maybe I'm really not listening. You guys are hitting me in my heart tonight. Like this is really, really good, and it's good to hear it from you. You know, like we certainly need to listen, and constant communication to me is talking about. She is encouraging us to have constant communication with, and you know what? And you guys might have to say, Ma, listen, like grab my hand, Ma, look me in the eye. Like, stop what you're doing, and I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me because this is so, so key, and this is helping. I promise you guys are really helping somebody. If when you out there and this is helping you, I want you to give these ladies some hearts and type some comments in there. Listen, Mama West says, I'm hearing every word. Listening is key in communication. Old school, Mama West said, that is me. That's me too. We need to come out of our space. I must be willing to meet the younger generation where they are, allowing them to speak freely. I enter the space that they are occupying. Thank you so much. Thank you for that feedback. Angelique says this is excellent. You guys know it's one of our mentors. Listen, she said the girls make, yeah, who's that? Y'all see who that is? That looks like a mama right there. A mama and a papa in the view there. She says, listen, that one of my besties that the girls made great points. This is key. I'm so excited that we have kicked off tonight talking about civility. We even jumped in some other seats here, and it's really about you because you are our future. You are our now leaders, and it's so important to give you this opportunity to communicate and to be heard because we're going to listen. We're going to learn and we are going to live civility. Now, last but not least, last question. Can you believe it? We're there. What can we do? And you may have touched on it, but this is going to be your closing remarks tonight, right? What can we do to bridge the gap between the generations? What can we do to really help each other move forward on this journey of civility? Move forward on this journey of, and you know it, about really loving and accepting each other, building confidence, right? Building on communication. What can we do? What can we do? Who wants to go first?
I volunteer to go first.
All right, Simone, come on.
I think that like we just need to listen to each other more because like this is just me. I don't know if this is any of you guys's, but I have always felt that like I can't really talk to my mom that much about like things that are really, really personal. Because like I understand that she's my mother, like, oh, like come to me in your time of need, like come, like you can talk to me. Like when she says that, I feel like just goes in one ear and out the other, and then she just tells me what she thinks.
Right.
Like parents I think don't really understand like what's really, really going on inside of like your daughter or son's head. Because like, it could be something that like we just understand and the adults don't. Because like the first week of my freshman year, like I couldn't even talk to my mom. Like I couldn't really get much sympathetic help from a parental figure. Like I just went to my best friend. Like I mean, I've known her for 10 years. I just talked to her about everything. Right. But like I feel like as a parent, you should be able to understand your child no matter what. Like I know that like every parent can't always understand like where your child is coming from, like with this or that, because they weren't in the situation themselves.
Right.
But like even still, like you should always be sympathetic, no matter what the situation is.
Good. This is good.
Especially with teenagers.
Down. Always be sympathetic. listen more, and we need to try to understand what's going on in your head. Like, I need to get out of myself, my experience, my head, right? And try to just, and even in sympathy and having empathy, right? There's a difference between sympathy and feeling sad for someone, but empathy is putting yourself in their shoes. And I feel like that's a lot of what you're saying, is that we need to come out of our adult shoes. Let me come out of my high heels or whatever I'm wearing, and let me try to fit my foot in Simone's feet. Let me try to put my foot into Mia's feet and see what she's experiencing, right? I think that will really, really, really shift a lot of what's going on, and help us to, of course, have more understanding for one another. That's very, very good. Thank you so much, Simone, for sharing, just being so transparent and real, like none other. Like
The
none.
pleasure is all mine.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Y'all know I love my Simone, right? All right. Tamia, talk to me. What do you think? What do you think we can do to bridge the gap and learn from each other?
To bridge the gap, I feel like you have to be true from the heart and really want change.
Mm,
Because you can say you want change, oh, I'm going to listen, but those are just words. And I believe your actions are stronger than your words. And
mm,
when you actually want it from your heart, then your whole mindset changes. And then that's when you start accepting, okay, I'm going to listen, I'm going to do this. So it all starts with just wanting that feeling, because it can go through a lot of things. Like you can say, oh, I want change for this. Like, for example, Black Lives Matter. You can say you want change, you want things to be different. But if you
mm,
don't mean it from your heart and you don't actually pursue those actions, then it's just words speaking on nothing. So I feel like
mm.
we just all need to come together and actually mean it.
Woo, that's heavy. I mean, you went through that fast, but when you talk about be true from your heart, and a lot of times we're not really coming from our heart, it's our head. And even when it's even from our heart, it's from past hurts. It's from past disappointments. And I don't want them for you. So here's what I want to do to protect you. Here's what I want to do to try to give you what I think is best for you. And this is really, really, really good. This is really, really good advice, guys. Y'all killing it. Y'all killing it. Actions speak louder than words. All right. Angelique says, I am so glad that they're speaking their truth. We really, really are giving you that real talk tonight. You guys are doing it, and actions speak louder than words. So I can tell you I love you. I can tell you come talk to me. But when you do come talk to me, if I'm not open and loving and ready to receive it, then those two don't go together. Right? I said, yeah, come talk to me. But when you come talk to me, I'm like, oh, whatever. Or I'm like, I hear you, but I still want you to do what I want you to do. Right? Is that? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's good. And
Exactly.
that's that heart work. That's that heart work. That's really, really good. Thank you guys, our audience, for sharing. All right, Caitlin, you're gonna bring it on home. Bring it on home, Caitlin. This is the kickoff for the 4-night civility conference. You girls brought it. Come on, Caitlin. What is one misconception? Well, we did the misconception, but tell us, how can we bridge the gap between our youth and our adults today in today's climate? How can we do it?
I mean, like Simone said, we need to listen and we need to communicate more. And instead of like in today's world, we do a lot of gossiping.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
So
whoop, whoop, whoop.
instead
Got
of
okay.
instead of gossiping, we could talk about how might this person feel. Like for example, a kid might go to the parent and say, "Oh, I feel this way about what you said." And then the parent can learn from that, and then the parent can pass that on to somebody else instead of gossiping about other things that don't even really matter. What's
Mm,
really important is the youth, because you're trying to raise the youth up. You're trying to help them run the world.
mm. I'm writing it down. Come on, Caitlin. What? Okay, last. I mean, you just touched on something about gossiping. Just since you went there, tell me what you're saying. Since you went there, go ahead.
Like gossip, like saying, "Oh, talking about this one person, which they could bring them down and stuff like that." And instead of talking about that, instead of talking about somebody like don't even matter, that could like block you from what you're doing, talk how they feel about what's going on in the world. Like for example, instead of gossiping, talk about how kids how important voting is, or how important is achieving your goals or working hard to earn
Mm-hmm.
something.
It's good. Very, very good. What really matters? Look, the stuff that really does matter. Talking about people who got what, who shot JR, who shoes, who sneakers. I don't know what else y'all talking about. Who hair, who what, the makeup, and all these material, superficial things. Like, let's really talk about things that actually matter. If you will, and that's absolutely great advice. Listen, ladies, my young ladies, my blessed girls, I truly enjoyed our time. And time went fast, didn't it, guys? Do y'all feel like it went fast? It just went like whoop, whoop. But here's the thing. You guys did such an amazing job kicking us off. You guys started this off with a bang. We will be back. We have tomorrow, we're talking community. Wednesday, we're talking about creativity. Right, we got some creatives coming to the screen, and we'll be closing out talking about climate change and the difference that we can learn and what we can do together. So I want to just say thank you to our audience members, those that are in the studio here, those that are watching on Facebook. We appreciate you so much. Make sure you comment, you like, and you share. Invite someone to join us. Now tomorrow, because we will be on the continent of Africa, we will be Central African time. So we will be starting 1 hour earlier just for tomorrow night. So we'll be back at 5 o'clock sharp, and we will be sharing and talking community. So we want you to join us tomorrow night, and make sure you give our ladies a round of applause. Make sure, check them out. I'm going to tag them on some things. Follow them, because they're doing some amazing things. And these ladies are something to watch. All right. These are something to watch. Listen, they said the bar is set high. You guys set the bar tonight. Y'all kicked it off, okay? And Miss Angelique said the bar is high. Miss Ramada, she says, wonderful job, young ladies, right? You guys did it. So I thank you for being here, kicking off the conference tonight. Blessed Girls hailing from Jersey. Listen, where my Jersey girls? You guys, you definitely rock. So I thank you so much. So listen, y'all know what to do. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m., right? Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Central Time, and I think African Central Time, it will be 11 p.m. All right, so this is a global show. This is a global conference. So let's make sure you guys all tune in. We'll be here same time, same place, and y'all know what to do. Make sure you remember to be bold, to be you, and to be blessed, girl. This is Dr. Anana signing off with Simone, Caitlin, and Tamia. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.